It's in that little bucket over there.
Okay. This class, out of all of them, had a lot of people absent last week, so make sure you take the time to catch up. If you look at the calendar for this week, which is always on your front page, I scheduled even a day on Thursday for makeup work after we do a review together. That way, for those of you, which a lot of you in here, because you were absent so much last week, that's going to be super crucial that you take advantage of that. Did not have to give you that time. Even if it's just entering your homework or showing me your homework. Maybe you did your homework but you forgot to put it online, or maybe you want to put it in online and you need that time to do that. That's what Thursday before. We're going to probably take 20 minutes, 15 minutes together. Then you'll have the whole rest of the period to do makeup work. Now, if you've been here and you've done all your homework, then it's your day to either get help from me or just kind of relax. It's the nice part about that. Okay, your test is not going to be until Tuesday. So again, Thursday, makeup work for you. And then Tuesday we'll test. So Friday we review, Monday we review. So there's like 3 days of review to get you ready for Tuesday's test, which will be over 2 days. I threw the notes over there for you too. Let's talk about the bell ringer. When you subtract rational expressions or add them, the biggest thing is you need to make sure that you have the common denominator. They both have x minus 7, so we're good to go. We don't have to do anything about it. Now today, they won't be the same, and that's why you need to make sure that they are common. When that's the case, you go straight across. So I have x squared. Well, this will change to plus, and that becomes a minus. So I have x squared minus 49 all over x minus 7. Remember that it just stays the same. You don't change them. Okay? This is the yellow, the bell ringer. Very good. Okay, now we can do the factoring, which is x plus 7 and x minus 7, because that's the square root of each one of them. All over, all over x minus 7, and that's gone. So then that's all you're left with is x plus equals x plus 7. Okay? So again, they already have a common denominator, so you don't have to do anything here, which is really nice, because we will see today that there might not be cases where that happens. Is there any part of that you have questions on? That is gonna, you've seen this problem a few times, and there's a reason for that. So just know that should be expected, yes. This is the square root, yeah, so you can square root like this. Yeah, that's perfect. That's what I want you to do. Okay, any other questions on that? Okay. All right then. You guys had the review for homework, so get that out. We're gonna go over the answers on that. Okay, I will come around and check it in because it is not online, so there's no other way for me to find out if you did it. Like I said, you guys need to do a lot of makeup stuff in here because of all the people that were gone. You guys had the evens on this, and let me scan it in really quick. I have a scanner on my phone. If you were not here, which I feel like everyone was here on Friday for the most part, then I would recommend just watching that video lesson because it will help you to review. Give me a second, sorry guys. You can show me tomorrow. Okay, let me see if it popped up on me here. Today, yeah. Okay, which the live action Aladdin will be coming out this year, actually. There are a lot of live actions coming out this year.
Dumbo.
Dumbo, Lion King, Aladdin, and something else. Yeah. So there's Aladdin, Dumbo, Lion King. I don't know what that one is. I know Mulan's coming out the next year.
2020.
Yeah, 2020. And they're already thinking about, like, The Little Mermaid. Yeah, it's not like, it's like far, I think, in advance, yeah. There's just been rumors about it right now. People keep saying Ariana Grande is out Ariel. I'm like, no, that's not true. Like, yeah, good singer, but yeah. All right, so this is going to be the same thing as Friday, but now we're going to see the situations where they're not common denominators and how we would go about that. So the very first thing is that we're going to multiply. Ooh, my handwriting has not been that good today. Multiply each of the expressions by the one that it's missing. So like, if I'm missing an x, then I'm going to multiply by x over x because that gets me 1. Then we're going to add or subtract the numerators and write it over the LCD. So whenever your LCD is what's going to be in your denominator. Okay, then we're going to factor the numerator and cancel any like factors that we have, if we have any. Cancel like factors. And I'm going to show you a different way in terms of how to get the LCD, because I feel like usually that's where people go wrong. They just can't figure out what the least common denominator is. Okay, so I'm going to kind of show you how your brain should go about it. For the example, this really easy one where they're just numbers. If I have 6 and 3, the least common denominator means the smallest number that both of them can multiply to get to. So in my head, I know it's going to be 6 because I know 3 goes into 6. But if you don't know that off the bat, you need to go off to the side and just kind of just for the sake of notes, because when you get to a little harder, you might not be able to see it. You could just list out your 3 and your 6. And I always just kind of do one of them and you can tell. Basically, you do your multiples. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. Well, already, look, that's common. We're done. So that's how you do it. You take the numbers that you have, multiply by 1, then 2, then 3, and see which one's going to be common. Okay, the least common. So 6 right away is going to be my LCD in the situation. So that's how you go about finding it. I think that's the hardest part, is just figuring out what your least common denominator is. So what would I have to multiply the 3 by to get 6? 3 times what number gets me 6? 2. Okay, so I have to multiply by 2 over 2. And the reason why I can do that is because 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 1 times anything is itself. So you're just manipulating the problem. So I have 7 over 6 still, because that's what we want. We want the LCD to be 6. Plus now we have 2 times 2, which is 4, all over 6. And now look, now they have a common denominator, and that was the goal. So 7 plus 4 gets you what? 11 over 6. And we're done. We can't reduce it anymore. There's not a number that goes into both 11 and 6, so here we are done. Okay. Basically what we're doing today, the hardest part, like I said, is getting that least common denominator. I think from there, you're good. Okay, so we just got to keep practice doing that. Do you have any questions on the example part? All right, so now we're going to do the same thing. We might see some variables now. I'm going to go off to the side. Again, eventually I think a lot of you will not have to do this step, but for the sake of learning it, I'm going to do it. So let's go over here and let's figure out what our LCD is. We don't know what it is. Some of you, again, might already be able to tell me it's going to be 10 because they both multiply to get 10. But if you don't realize it, you have to figure out a different way to do it. So I'm going to put my 2 and my 5 because those are what's on the bottom. And I'm just going to list my multiples of 2. So it goes 2, and then 4, and then 6, and then 8, and then 10. You're like, hey, I know 10 is going to be divided by 5 too. That would be your LCD. That's kind of how I go through it. 2 can't be divided by 5. 4 can't be divided by 5. 6 can't be divided by 5. 8 can. Well, 10 can. So right away, I know for a fact it's going to get me 10. So I'm going to circle that. These ones don't work. They can't be divided by 5. Okay, so sometimes just listing it out for yourself might help you. And if you want to list out your 5s, you don't have to. 5 times 1 is 5, 5 times 2 is 10, and that's, how you see that. So then now I have to go over here and say, what do I have to multiply 2 by to get 10? What number times 2 gets me 10? 4 times 2 is 8. Careful. What times 2 gets me 10? 5. Very good. 5 over 5. Now over here, same thing. 5 times what gets me 10? We're going to have 2, because we just kind of did that. Now let's do it. So we know for a fact, if you look at the bottoms, 5 times 2 is going to get me 10. So both of them are going to be over 10. I know that for a fact. Now let's do the top parts. 5 times x gets me 5x. 2x times 2 gets me 4x. Are we okay here? Well, now we're back to what we did yet on Friday or on Thursday. You just combine them because now they have an LCD. They have a 10 as a common denominator. So 5 plus 4 gets me what? 9. So I have 9x over 10 is my final answer. Okay, it takes some time. Again, I think the hardest part is just getting that LCD if you can't notice it right away. I'm just going to show you again how I would go about this if I didn't know what the LCD was. I'm going to go off to the side and figure out what it is. I'm going to write my 2 and I'm going to write my 6 because of the 2 numbers I'm working with. And then I'm going to list my multiples. So 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. Well, look at that. I didn't have to do anything with the 6 because I know right away that's going to be my LCD. Okay, because I know 6 will go into there because they're the same number. Or if you want to list them out, 6 times 1 is 6, 6 times 2 is 12, and you would notice already that the 6's were there. So I don't have to do anything to the second fraction, but the first fraction, I have to multiply by what number over what number? To get 6 is my LCD. What times 2 would get me 6? 3. So I would have 3 over 3. And then we can just do it. 3 times x gets me 3x. And I know it's going to be over 6. Whatever your LCD is what it's going to be over. Or you can do it. 3 times 2 gets me 6. Then this guy is going to be the same. We didn't do anything to him, so I'm going to write him in black so we can see that we didn't do anything to that guy. And now again, we're back to where we started. 3x plus 7x gets me how many x's? 10x. And over 6. Now, this is a great answer, but you can keep going. What number goes into both of them? 2. Which gets me 5x over what number? Very good. And we're done. Now again, I like this answer. If you got this far, I am very happy that you got that far. But I want you to keep going. I want you to push yourself to be the best that you can be, and that is if you keep going further. So far, okay? Okay, let's do it again. Now 3 and 2. Can anyone assume what the LCD is going to be? If you don't know, we can go through it. Okay, let's go through it. If we did not know right away what the LCD was, let's go through it. I have 3 and I have a 2. I'm going to write my multiples of 3 until I find a number that goes into 2. So I have 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. Can 6 be divided by 2? Yeah, so now I found my LCD. Okay? So basically you're trying to find a number that can also be divided by 2, the least one. If you want to list out your 2's, you can. You do not have to do this. But 2, 4, 6, and you can see right there is your 6. Okay? You're trying to find the least common one if you go up by that number. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. You just keep going until you find the least common. Okay? So then, same thing. I have to multiply both of them by something because they're both not 6, and I need 6. So what am I going to multiply this by right here? What over what? Yeah, 2 over 2, because that's going to get me a least common denominator of 6. What am I going to multiply the other one by? 3. Okay, now we just go ahead and we finish it off. Well, 2 times 2 gets me 4. I know for a fact it's going to be over 6. And I know this guy's going to be over 6 too. I just know that because whatever the least common denominator is what it's going to be over. Yep, and then you have 3x right here. 3x. Now, you can subtract them, but they're not the same. One is a number and one has a variable. So we're just going to rewrite it to be a little bit more pretty. So I would have 4 minus 3x all over 6. And that would be my final answer. Because you can't go any further. You can't add 4 and 3x. They're not common. How are you doing? Decent?
How would you know to divide the right fraction by 3?
How to multiply the right fraction by 3? Because my goal is to get 6, and I currently have a 2. So 2 times 3 would get me 6. So that's how I know I have to use 3. These two will always be the same number. You will not have different numbers here. It has to be the same. Because 3 divided by 3 is 1. And that's why we can do this. 1 times this would be the same thing. It's kind of like you're manipulating the problem because look, if you reduce this, you would get x over 3, x over 2 again. Okay, so you can manipulate a problem. That's what math's all about, is like manipulation and working with numbers. Good question. Okay, this one. Let's try it again. Let's find out our LCD. Now again, some of you might be able to tell me what it is right away, but if you can't, and that's okay, list it out for yourself. This is, what'd you say? Does 4 go in 10? No. So see, you gotta be careful with that. But I get why you think it's 10. So I'm gonna write this out. The goal is I'm gonna write. Oop! I put 10 instead of 5. I'm gonna write out my 4s until I find one of them that can be divided by 5. Okay. So I have 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. They're all not being divided by 5, if you've noticed. Like, none of them will be divided by 5 nicely. And then I have 4 times 5, which is 20. Is 20 going to be divided by 5? Good. Yeah, so now 20 is my LCD. So you're just going in order. 4 times 1, 4 times 2, 4 times 3, 4 times 4, 4 times 5, until you find one that can be also divided by 5. Now, if you didn't know that it could be divided by 5, you can list out your 5s too. Again, you don't have to do this, but I'm just going to write it. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 4 is 20. So if that helps you to write both of them out, do it. Totally your call. Whatever you need to do to get it done. Okay, so now we're going to go off to here and figure out what I need to get 20. I know for a fact they're both going to be over 20, but the question is, how do I get it to be 20? So I have to multiply by something over something on both of them. What times 5 gets me 20? 4. So I have 4 over 4 here. We okay there? What times 4 gets me 20? 5. Yeah, it's like the opposite there. Okay. 4 times 9 gets me 36. Very good. 36x. And then I have 3x times 5, which gets me 15x. Very good. Now, these are the same, so we can subtract them. We can subtract 36x minus 15x. So 36x minus 15x, if you like to put the plus with the minus there, that's fine. All over 20. Okay, what is 36 minus 15? What'd you say? 21, very good. So I have 21x all over 20. And we can't reduce that at all. There's just no way. Do you have any questions? Is that right? Did we do that right? 36 minus 15. Did you get 19? Someone else get 19? What is, let me see my calculator. 36 minus 15. Is it 19 or 21?
21.
Okay. I'm losing it, guys. Oh, duh. I don't need to borrow. I'm an idiot. It's okay. That's all right. I lost my mind earlier today. Okay. Cool. All right. Let's go ahead and do 5. We're only going up to number 8 today, so we are almost done. Okay, so let's do 5. Now, just because there is an X there doesn't mean like we should be scared. We're still going to use it. Now, here, our LCD. If they both have an X, that's even better. That means that it's going to have an X involved. So I'm going to put an X there because, I mean, they're common already. So I know that. Now, again, between 2 and 3, let's figure it out. It goes 2. That's not going to be divided by 3. 4. That's not going to be divided by 3. 6. Can 6 be divided by 3? Yeah, so 6 is my LCD. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8. You just keep going until you find one that can be divided by the other. So then I have to go over here and say, okay, what times 2 will get me 6? 3. So I have 3 over 3. And let's go to the other one. Whoop. What times 3 gets me 6? 2. 2 over 2. Now I know for a fact if you look at your LCD off to the right was 6x. And that's true. Because look, 3 times 2x gets me 6x. Same thing over there. Now here's the part I want to make sure that you get is because look, there are 2 things here separated by a plus sign. So you have to apply the 3 to both of them. So I have 3 times x, which gets me 3x. And then 3 times 3, which gets you 9. Oopsies. Plus 9. We okay there? And the other one just normal is only one of them. 2 times 2 gets me 4. And now we're back to Thursday's notes where we can combine them. So here we go. I know it's all going to be over 6x because, again, that's my LCD and it's not changing until the last part, if anything. Now let's add them. I know the 3x cannot be added to anything, so I'm going to leave it. But if you take a look, 9 plus 4 gets me what? 13. Very good. So I have plus 13. There's nothing I can do here. There's no factoring that can be done. I can divide everything by a number. So this is my final answer. I can't go any further. One of the biggest mistakes I will tell you that I see on tests is people want to cancel this x with that x. Can't do that. Okay, you can only do that if the x is alone without like a plus or minus sign. Okay? Go ahead and flip when you're ready so I know we can move on. We only got 2 more left. 3 more left, sorry. 2 more. We're not going to do actually the next one. We're going to skip 6. I don't think it's necessary. But we're going to do 7 and 8. Okay, let's do 7. Okay, same thing here. Now we have 4 and 7. Let's figure it out. So our LCD, I'm going to go off to the side and figure out what it is. Oopsies. If it has a variable, you need to keep it with it. So if you look here, that guy has an x and that one doesn't. They both need one. They both need an x. So I'm going to put an x there. If it was x squared, you would put x squared. If it was x cubed, you'd put x cubed. Whatever's down there, you need it. Okay, and then we need to figure out our numbers. So 4 and 7. Might want to give yourself a little bit of room for this one. Okay, 4. Let's go in order. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. None of them can be divided by 7. That's why I keep going. 4 times 5 is 20. Still can't be divided by 7. Doesn't work. 4 times 6 is 24. Still can't divide by 7. 4 times 7 is 28. Okay, so if you notice, 28 can be divided by 7. Because you got to a point where you said 4 times 7, which is the number we want. If you get to that point, it's going to for sure be that number. Okay? So 4 times 7 gets me 28, and because they both can be divided by you could divide both of them into 28, that's going to be your LCD. Okay? So you're looking for a 28x. Well, if you look at the very first one, it already has an x, so we're good to go. So what do I have to multiply the top and bottom by to get 28? What number? Yeah, I heard someone say 7 is correct. Now take a look here. I need 28x. Do you notice it needs an x still? So you have to put that x on the top and bottom. You need that x. Otherwise, you still wouldn't be able to combine them. Well, 7 times what number gets me 28? 4. Very good. So I'm going to add that 4 in there as well. Do you have questions on that? All right. Now, I know that because my LCD is 28x, they're both going to be over 28x. I know that for sure. Or, if you do it, 7 times 4 is 28. 7 times 4 is 28. That's how we get that. Now, we just do the top. 7 times 3 gets me what? 21. And then 4x times 1. 4x. Okay. Well, they're both over 28x, and let's combine them. There's nothing you can do. You just have 21 and 4. Okay, so you have 21 and 4x. So I'm just going to rewrite it. 21 minus 4x. That's my final answer. You can't divide all 3 of them by a number. Do you have questions on that one? Okay, last one. Last one here. So we have 3 and 6. Does anyone know what the LCD is right away? 6. Okay, here's how I kind of just know that without writing anything. 3 can go into 6, so that's got to be 6. Okay, if they can go into each other, like here, 4 did not go into 7. The smaller number did not go into the bigger number. That's why I had to do some work. If you look at like all of these, here, 2 can't go into 3. So I know I have to figure out something else. 4 can't go into 5. I need to figure out something else. But if you go up to here, again, 2 does go into 6. So that's how I knew that the LCD would be 6. Just a way to think about it. Okay, last one here. So it's going to be 6. What do I have to multiply the top and bottom by for this guy to get 6? What times 3 gets me 6? 2. Now again, they're both going to be over 6, so I'm just going to prepare my fractions. They're ready to go. Here I go. I'm just going to distribute. 2 times x gets me 2x. What's 2 times a negative 2? Yeah, negative 4. Thank you. Then if you look here, I'm not doing anything to this guy. I mean, he's already over 6, so I'm just going to rewrite him. And then I combine. Okay, so I'm going to combine. I have 2x plus 1x, which gets me how many x's? 3x. Then I have negative 4 plus 1. Negative 3. All over 6 has not changed. Now it looks like that would be, again, a very good answer. I'd be very happy with that answer, but there is something I can divide all of them by. What number can I divide every single piece by? 3. I can divide all the tops by 3 and all the bottoms by 3, and that's going to get me my final answer. Because 3 divided by 3 is just 1, so I have x minus 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. That would be my final answer. Okay, so take your time with these. We're not doing the bottom. We decided like that this is kind of tough enough for you guys that you guys can just work on this part. You have the whole rest of the period, which is quite some time. 17 minutes. I think there's only 5 questions today because I wanted to make sure that you took your time. It's on Elastic like normal, and there is paper over there if you need it. A lot of you, like I said, have makeup work. You need to either let me know that you did it, or you need to be working on that. Like I said, Thursday, I'm giving you like more than half a period to do any makeup work that you have. Okay, so take advantage of that as well. And I'm going to make the key now for you guys to check your answers. I think I have cardboard.
And then you were elder too.
Yeah. Everything's just like not working. Of course, softball starts tomorrow, so that's going to be great.
Huh?
Softball starts tomorrow. Conditioning.
Practice indoor or out?
We practice indoors until it gets nice outside. Yeah. So we'll go to the field house, or we go to, there's that big softball and baseball field like right down the street. They let us use it in the morning.
Close.
Yeah.
So you practice before school or?
Before school and after school. It just depends. Yeah, what's available. Is it open? We're good? Yeah. Come on over. Oh, really? Wow. Is it gonna get bad today? I didn't even know that. I'm losing it.